représentants. Je vais donner la parole aux représentants. Please, would you be kind enough to take the floor? And maybe we will have some direct question because my colleague already traveled to Estonia. So we are quite aware about the situation. So please, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good day. I'm very thankful for having us here. And I will give you a really quick overview of the Estonian system.
Excuse me, she already has a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
We change the...
Okay.
Effectivement, nous avons été très très bien accueillis en Estonie. Nous avons eu yes, in English. Yes. So we've been very welcome in Estonian. It was very interesting to discuss with all the services, Estonian services on your organization. Can you explain to us how do you make the identifiable number for the stranger and for the Estonian people?
Okay.
And how do you, and if sometimes this number can be closed?
When a person is born, then the identification code is given to them, and it consists of 11 numbers, and each number has a certain meaning. First number shows the gender, then there is the year of birth, and month, and the day, and then there is location, where they live. And 4 numbers in the end are the personal numbers, that according to a person. And every person gets this identification card. And all the services in Estonia, you can use this card to enter, for example, self-service portal. Then you just put this card in, and then you have PIN codes. And which are personal, only you know them. It is obligatory, you have to destroy them after you get these numbers from this special institution. Yes, and all the banks and private and public sector is using that identification code. And if a person comes from another country, then they get also this social code from Estonia.
Yes, but on which kind of documents, and how do you manage to figure and to give this number to the right person and to not give 2 numbers to the same person, for example?
We have this population register. Every person is registered there, and if a person comes from another country, then they have to, I don't know the right word, but they get this permit to stay in Estonia, and it is given by the same institution that gives us these identification cards. And if they come to work, every worker in Estonia is registered in work register. Every employer has obligation to register, and it is checked. For example, the building sector is very popular. People are coming from abroad, and if somebody is working there, the institution goes and says, please show your permit, and they check if you are registered in the register.
Okay. You cannot have any illegal, so.
There can be, but if you if the control comes and you're not registered on the working register, then there will be fines.
So you have to declare every year your situation, every July, I think? February for taxes, yes. And the statistics are that half percent has not done in the right time, and 27% don't declare their situation, mainly because they are not active anymore. So how do you manage with all those e-identity or e-numbers that aren't used anymore?
This answer I cannot say to you because I'm not the specialist. I work in a benefits department in Social Insurance Board, but I can write it down and ask what we do with the numbers that are not used. because I know that before 2000, the code for gender, for example, was for men it started with 3, and women it started with 4, and now after 2000, men start with 5 and women with 6 number. I think that there are no numbers in reusage at the moment.
Okay. My last question, but not least, is from the dead people. So how you've got a few years ago, I think, troubles with the cards with who weren't destroyed after the death of the people. How do you manage now to follow the death, and how do you manage to follow the identity number?
In case of death?
Yes.
Okay, from this year there is a register for e-death. It's funny to say, but if a person is dead, then medical person, the doctor declares the death and then puts up the information into the population register, and then the info is shared with the institution that needs that information. But we have the problem with abroad. If the person dies, for example, in Russia, then we might not have the information on time, and then it could happen that the pensions are paid out for the dead person. But we are developing our services, and for example, with Finland, our population registers change the information. It's not automated, but we do it 3 times a year, I think. So to get the information who has died in Finland.
How do you manage to get the information? Do you send a letter to everybody or a mail or something, and they have to give proof? Because we have a real problem of fraud. We have a high level of people who are over 100. And sometimes you have a Mike Climate, that is a very the people should be really, must be a good climate for the people who have so many people over 100 at the same place. So without any doubt, there is a fraud. So how do you manage that?
For example, every person that is living abroad and is receiving pension from us has to send once a year their life certificate that they are alive. But what we have done that since we have this register, we have sometimes we take out the persons who are very old. We check if they get pensions, and we check if they have this ID card. Is it because it's given for 5 years? Every Estonian living in
5 years.
Yes, it must have this document if it is subjective. If it is valid, then the person is probably alive. But if it's
Probably.
But if it's not valid and we are still paying pension, then we write to the person and ask if why they don't have this identity card, because it is obligatory. But there are no any fines or nothing will happen to you. But we have the right to ask, why don't you have this card, and we have the right to stop paying pension. And if we stop paying any benefit, then the person will let us know. But yes, we have done the same, that we check out who are very old and what is the situation with them.
If I'm not wrong, the pensions are the only subject that isn't totally numérisé on the board.
You mean on the page basis of the social
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
20 years ago, a new system was established when all employers started to pay social tax. and it is 33% of the payable amount. 20% goes to pension insurance, and 13% goes to health insurance. From that time, every pension is calculated on the basis of social tax. But since the persons have been working 40 years, at the moment we are paying pensions that consist of the time before 1999 and after. So every work that has been done after that 1999 is calculated on the basis of social tax. Before there are documents, there is this working book that persons, all the working he or she has done is written, and there are special rules that has to be filled so we can accept it, and we write to archives and ask if the person has been working somewhere and if the documents are there. And if it is shown that he or she has given us wrong papers, then we send these documents to police, and they will start a criminal process over this. And there are very few cases that I know that has been documented fraud. There was one big case when a person started to give certificates that people have been working in places that give special rights for pension, and when we discovered it, then we made letters to archive, and then we get the correct information about the working. But there will be less and less persons who have to give us the papers.
Which is very interesting in your models is that you have all centralized,
Yes.
And you've managed to make the exchanges automatically, which is interesting for us. It's not really fraud, but it's welfare mistakes. You have about 25% of wrong welfare people having welfare, let's say, didn't need, in fact. How do you manage to correct that with your automatically databases?
We have agreed principles of developing services, and service for us is not just IT. We don't develop just IT, but also we have to change legislation. And these welfare services are based on the medical information, and for a few years it has been like that the doctor sees the patient, and they put the information into a special system, and then we take it from there. And now we are controlling the doctors also. There are institutions who hire the doctors, and we evaluate the quality of the doctor's work. And we can send people to another doctor to understand if the diagnosis is correct for them. And by this system, we are trying to get the welfare system also better. Because for benefits, we have there is agreement that we are not waiting people come to us, but if for example, if the child is born, we know that the child is born, and then we send a parent letter saying that you have right for these benefits. We don't wait them to come to us. And I will show you. This is the view that the person sees, and they just have to confirm the grants. They don't have to give you the papers to get any of these benefits, because it's the fact that the baby is born. It is important, and they don't have to come to tell us that the baby is born, because already through the population register we know that the baby is born.
We'll ask you to give us your presentation, please.
Yes, it is already here, but I can
Yeah, please, Tatjana. And unfortunately, as my colleague already traveled to your country, we are aware, but we were really very happy to receive you today. And we will spend some time after the end of the conference to discuss with you if you